Hey everyone, and welcome. So, we're on the internet pretty much 24/7. But have you ever just stopped and thought, what is this thing actually made of? And no, I don't mean the websites or the code. I'm talking about the real physical stuff. The actual wires, the glass, the invisible waves in the air that make our entire digital world even possible. It really all boils down to a question like this. You tap on a link and poof, like some kind of magic trick, a video of a cat playing the piano just appears on your screen. But here's the thing, it's not magic, not at all. It's actually an incredible, high-speed journey across a hidden, physical superhighway. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how that highway is built. Okay, so the first big idea we got to get our heads around is this term, transmission media. Just think of it like this. It's the network of roads and highways our data travels on. You know, whether it's a tiny little local street or a massive interstate freeway. Every single bit of information needs a physical path to get from point A to point B. So, if data travels on roads, what are these roads paved with? Well, just like in the real world, we use different materials for different jobs. You wouldn't build a quiet neighborhood street out of the same stuff as a high-speed bullet train tunnel, right? Let's take a look at the three main types of cables that literally connect our world.
First up, we've got the humble twisted pair cable. You've definitely seen these before. They're the things you plug into your router or what old-school telephone lines are made of. It's literally just two copper wires twisted around each other. But that twist, it's not just for looks. It's a super clever and cheap way to cancel out interference and noise from stuff like power lines. It keeps the signal just that little bit cleaner. Next, let's upgrade to the coaxial cable. You'd probably recognize this as your classic cable TV cord. Now think of this one as an armored highway. You've got that main copper wire in the middle carrying the data, sure, but it's also surrounded by this braided copper shield. And that shield acts like armor, giving it way better protection from outside noise than our simple twisted pair. And finally, we get to fiber optic cable. Okay, this is where things get really, really cool. Instead of pushing electrical signals down a copper wire, fiber optics send pulses of light down a tiny, hair-thin strand of super pure glass. It's less of a highway and more like a light-speed tunnel. And that's the game changer, right? Because it uses light instead of electricity, it is completely immune to the kind of electrical interference that messes with copper cables. So let's put it all together, and you can really see the trade-offs here. On one end, you've got your twisted pair. It's the cheap local street, right? But it's slow and it's really susceptible to noise. Coaxial is your solid middle-of-the-road option, that armored highway. But fiber optic? It's expensive for sure, but it's that flawless light-speed tunnel. You get blazing fast speed precisely because it's completely immune to electrical noise. On the data superhighway, you really do get what you pay for. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't actually matter if your road is paved with copper or glass. All the traffic has to obey the same fundamental laws of physics. These are the universal rules of the road that every single signal has to follow, no exceptions. The first rule is bandwidth. You've probably heard this term thrown around a lot, and honestly, the highway analogy is perfect for it. More bandwidth just means more lanes on your highway. I mean, a 10-lane freeway can handle way more cars at once than a little one-lane country road, right? Same deal in the digital world. More bandwidth means more data can be sent at the exact same time, which is what gives you those fast downloads and super smooth video streams.
The next law of the road is something called attenuation. Think of your data signal like a car that starts its journey with a full tank of gas. As it drives down that long cable, it's constantly using up fuel. The farther it goes, the weaker it gets, until, it runs out of gas and the signal just becomes useless noise. To fight this, networks use devices called repeaters, which are basically just gas stations along the highway that boost the signal back up to full strength so it can keep going.
And then, of course, you've got the problem of traffic noise, or what engineers call crosstalk. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's when the signal from one wire leaks or bleeds over into another nearby wire. If you've ever been on an old phone line and could faintly hear another conversation, that's it. This is a massive headache for copper cables all bundled together. But remember fiber optics? Since they use light, not electricity, they are totally immune to this kind of problem. Okay, cables. I get it. But what happens when you just can't lay down a physical road? I mean, a huge part of our digital life is wireless. So how in the world does that work? Well, the difference is pretty straightforward when you think about it. Wired media uses those physical roads we've been talking about. Wireless media, on the other hand, uses invisible airwaves. It sends data by encoding it onto electromagnetic waves, like radio waves, that just travel right through the air.
And the biggest advantage? Mobility, of course. You're not physically tethered to a cord. And these airwaves aren't some weird abstract idea. You use them every single day. The Wi-Fi connecting your laptop right now? That's one. The Bluetooth linking your headphones to your phone? Yep, that too. The satellite signals that your GPS uses to tell you where to turn, and, of course, the 4G and 5G networks that keep your phone connected no matter where you go. These are all just different kinds of wireless transmission media. So we have our road materials, our physical cables, and our wireless airwaves. But just having a bunch of roads doesn't make a city, right? You need a plan, a map, a blueprint for how to connect everything together so it all works. In the world of networking, we call this city plan a topology. So let's look at one of the simplest city plans ever, the bus topology. Imagine one single main street, just one long cable, and every single computer is connected directly to it. When one computer sends out a message, that message travels down the entire street for everyone to see. But only the computer it's addressed to actually picks it up. It's simple, it's cheap, but you can probably see the huge problem here, right? If that main cable breaks anywhere, boom, the entire network, the whole neighborhood is cut off. It's a massive single point of failure. So there you have it, from simple twisted copper wires to pulses of light shooting through glass to invisible waves in the air around us. Our entire digital world rests on this massive, complicated, and very real physical foundation. It really makes you think, doesn't it? As our demand for data just keeps growing and growing, what will the superhighway of tomorrow need to be built from to keep up? What comes after the light-speed tunnel?